everybody to another live session from Doing Healthy Africa. My name is Oluwatosin Olabode, a digital wellness educator and the founder of Doing Healthy Africa. Today's conversation is another series on why the No Gadget Hangout matters. For us, technology has come to stay. We are not an anti-tech movement. We are essentially a platform that is advocating for intentional use of technology, productive use of technology in a way that keeps us healthy. It shouldn't be a
Yeah.
competition between productivity and our wellness. Both of them can coexist. And so that's why we are having this conversation today. And with me is an amazing friend, Confidence. Please just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Tosi. It's good to be here, and thank you for this opportunity to be here. So, not to waste our time, my name is Confident Hussein. I'm the founder of Internet Safe Kids Africa. And basically, just like you said, our goal is to make sure that technology is used responsibly. We should be able to have optimal use of technology in a way that it doesn't harm us, harm our health, physical and mental, but rather we use it to better ourselves and better the environment and the society at large. So basically, we are all talking about being responsible with your use of tech. That's what I do, that's my work as an individual and as a brand with Internet Safe Kids Africa, empowering young people to be responsible with their use of technology. So,
Yeah, I think that's so much of an amazing work that you're doing. It's a very important work because, like we say, technology has come to stay, and we're advocating for
yeah,
people to get more involved with technology.
yeah.
But it's super important that they're at the back of our mind. We are thinking responsible usage. We are thinking safety. We are thinking use in such a way that we still stay healthy, our mental health and overall well-being.
Healthy.
So I'd just like to jump into the first question that I have today for you. And the question is, are young people doing tech right? So we've talked about how young people are with technology right now. Technology has come to the table. Are young people, in your experience, in your work, are young people using technology right?
Mm. Okay, thank you for that question. Are young people really using technology right? It's a very complex question and it's also multifaceted. If you look, a lot of young people are socializing, being creative, connecting, and learning online. This is a very good use of tech. But when you also look deeply, you also find out that the connection, the learning, the motive, what are the motives behind it. So I can't say they are using technology very well, and I can't say they are not. But what I will say is that there is room for improvement. There is need for young people to be intentional with their tech use. Not to sound negative, most of the times when you see young people come online, it comes from after viewing somebody who has, in our word, put it blow. The person has blown. They come online with that mentality. I want to do exactly what this person is doing to blow. And what does the blow mean? The blow means maybe more fame, more spotlight on such person, and because of what we are going through as Nigerians, lack. Today you
Yeah.
can see a lot of content creators in our spaces, skit makers and everything, all on technology, using tech. But when you look at it critically, look at the motive behind why they are using it for their content creation or whatever, and look at the impact it's having on them themselves creating content and doing all these things, and the people who are viewing them. We can't come out and say we are using technology in a way that it is right. So I, for one, I'm saying, while using technology for all this, we all want to make money, we all want to be known, we all want to come on these platforms, use our devices to drag people, throw people. There should be some form of education, intentionality about why are we using tech and why we are using it, what's its impact on us and the people we are creating for or socializing or connecting with. So it is not a perfect technology usage on the side of the youth, and it is not a pitfall. There's still room for improvement. They can do better. Young people can do better with their use of tech.
I totally agree with you. The idea that technology is not the problem, technology in itself is not the problem, but our usage of it is what can be the problem. And you gave a classic example of how when we used it, when young people use technology productively, obviously that boosts their mental health and well-being. So there's no problem with that. But when they begin to negatively use it because they are following the perspective of this person has blown, or I want to
Yeah.
catch crew, or I want to attack
That's
this person,
true.
and all of that, that's where the
Exactly.
problem begins to happen. I think that makes a lot of sense. And it kind of leads me to the second question that says, can we keep connections real? Even with all the tech that is around, can we still keep connection real with all the tech that is around?
Yes, we can. It comes first from self-discipline. You have to. Whenever I'm talking about technology, about safety, about privacy, and everything, I go back to, because there's this perception that we all have that there's a real world and there is a digital world. I think this perception is kind of distorting our understanding of these two spaces. Honestly, Tosin, there is no real world and there is no digital world. It's one world. And I use this analogy. In your house, there is a sitting room, there is a restroom, there is a bedroom. Different activities happen in these spaces. You can't go into where you go, your restroom, your convenience. You can't sit down there, no matter how clean that place is. You can't sit down there to eat, or you can't sit down there to cook. Now, these are like life principles. These are like life values. If only we can see technology as the digital space as that space in the real world, so to speak, that we
Mm,
call. I think a lot of these problems we have in terms of good communication, socializing, and connecting with other people on this digital space would be better. There are values that guide us
mm,
in our so-called real world. Why don't we take those values in our so-called digital world?
yeah.
So it's this distinction distorts everything we're doing. Real connections. Growing up, I don't know the generation you're coming from and everything, but I'm a little bit backward. One old generation like that. Growing up, there are rules, there are principles that guide us. Our parents laid them down. You don't do this. When you're crossing the road, you do this, you do that. You don't go into someone's one uncle or one auntie's house. You don't go straight around the neighborhood. You don't insult your seniors. You don't talk. There are so many rules. These values, these competencies, if they are well instilled in us, that's the same thing we are going to show on our devices. The
Yeah.
next person behind the screen. It's the same thing. So there can be real connections, if we understand how to connect very well physically. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been in a space where someone has told me, if they see my mother, my own mother, come into their office, that they're going to call my mother by name, and I'm okay. Does that, do you even know my mom's age? My mom is in her 70s. You, a 20-something-year-old guy, will see my mother, and nothing will warrant you to respect my mom. That same nature of that person, the person is going to bring it on the device, going to bring it into technology. And those are the connections we are talking about.
Mm,
At home, partners are trying to, your one of your videos, which I really, really loved your explanation. We talked about um, people fobbing, partners not listening to
yeah.
each other. They are talking and everything. So definitely there is no connection. They might
Mm,
be talking to each other, but there is no connection. Children are struggling to have their parents' attention, and their parents are on the phones, on their devices, on tech, and
yeah.
all that. So there will always be that struggle on on our devices, on social platforms, or using tech. It's always going to be there, but it's not until we go back to the basics.
Mm,
What are core life values that makes me and you human? What are those core
yeah.
life values? If we get it right there, all this our talk on use tech very well, connect this, that, it will be reduced,
Yeah.
Tosin. It will be reduced. Humans want to be humans.
Yeah.
Let me quickly say this. This digital age, technology age, devices has made us to live life in the pace of a machine. We want to be online. people want me to be available. Immediately they send me a message on WhatsApp, not knowing that I might have lives or other things to do. It has turned our lives to be machine-based.
Yeah.
What we really need is this. I don't know. Have you ever made a statement like saying, maybe you're having a conversation with somebody and you say, "Please let me be." Have you ever said
Yeah.
that to anybody? You have. That
Yeah.
word or that word, that statement, "let me be," there is a depth to it. What you're
Mm.
trying to say to that person at that moment is, you want to be human, you want your blood and flesh to run normally, the person should not disturb you. This tech age has made us to live in the pace of machine, which is availability,
Yeah.
spontaneity, and just what you have. While the body, our human nature, our being is asking for us to live within the space of body and heart. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
that body and heart is, I want to be nice to you when I'm online. I
Yeah.
want to track the time when I'm online and when I'm offline. I
Yeah.
want my space. I want you to ask me before you post
Yeah.
anything. I want to
Yeah.
think before I post. Those are the body and heart space that we need to imbibe in technology, not the spontaneous machine thing we all are doing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
can we really have real life connections? We can, but we have to go to the basic. Fundamental rights, basic rights, competencies and values that we were raised with that made us who we are. We need to
Yeah.
bring it to the digital space.
Yeah. So true. Most times when I talk with clients or I speak at engagements, I like to describe the
Mm-hmm.
digital space as another environment. So the way you have your schools, the way you have your churches, your mosques, your shopping malls, and all of that, you have to think about the digital space as another environment like that. Because the truth is, like you rightly said, if you don't view it from that perspective, it distorts the
Mm-hmm.
way you live.
Yes,
It gives you a sense of two personalities or two types of identity. So there's the
exactly,
way I am
exactly,
as a person, and then when I'm going online, I'm supposed to be a different type of person. But identity, once you
exactly.
exist, it's not created or destroyed. Like you can only keep discovering it. So you're supposed to transfer or translate wherever you are offline, online, and to a very large extent, even in the distorted view of things, people still carry their nature, their biases online, offline to the online spaces, or rather, they carry their healthy habits, as the case might be, into the digital space. I think it's super important that we realize that if our values have been properly grounded in the physical space, then they can be grounded well in the
Yeah,
digital space. Also.
yeah.
I wrote a book a couple of years back for teenagers, essentially, and it's called The Concise Guide to Online Etiquette. So it's basically the manners of the digital space. The
Yeah,
same way, like you rightly said, we have values in the physical space, we have culture, we have traditions, we have the way that things are supposed to be done. When going into the
yeah.
digital space, also, it's super important to know those values, to know how to treat people, to know how to engage with people, to show
Exactly.
empathy, to have a bit of emotional
Empathy.
intelligence when you're engaging with
Exactly.
people, to be able to constructively criticize somebody, not just throwing out things there because
Exactly.
everybody is
Yes.
catching. That's what seems like
Yes.
it's familiar. I think these are the things that help ensure, because you have to think about it. If you're talking about connection, people want to bond, people want to be understood.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're engaging with
Mm-hmm.
somebody and at the end of the day you're not understood, both of you don't get each other, then what was the point of that connection? We are
Of
a people that are no
connection.
longer fully present in our engagement. Like you talked about the
Mm-hmm.
concept of phobing. I'm here, but I'm not here. I'm here, but I'm in 10 other places. You can't
Yes.
fully be present in that engagement. And so that emotional bond, whether it's a business relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, that bond is not there. And then you
Harvest.
notice that growth is not there. You know how they say that you can be with people and still be alone.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
still be lonely. You might not be alone, but you can be lonely. So we're in a generation
Lonely.
where you're friends with people, but everybody's on their devices. Like you
Yes.
hang out with friends,
Exactly.
five of you, and
Yeah.
everybody is using their devices. You're not really
Exactly.
hanging, but you're physically present, but you're not
Yes.
mentally present. So yeah, like that's so true. Technology was created as a support structure for us. Once technology begins to hinder us from getting support structure, there is a problem. Technology was created as an amplifier for us to get connections. So once we no longer are able to connect, it means that there is a problem, because for families, for instance, we are all spread across different parts of the world. And so once you can't use technology in a way that helps you stay in touch with these people in the way that you should, then it means that there is a problem. And then finally, one of the other points that you made mention of is a concept called the communication charter. The idea that you can let people know the best times to reach out to you, the best platforms to reach out to you. If there's an emergency, so they know to call you. If it's not an emergency, they know to send a WhatsApp message, and you get to it when you can get to it. There is no law that says that you have to drop everything that you're doing every time a notification pops up. Actually, the principle of productivity even entails the idea that when you are doing office work, you should be putting off your social notifications. When you are doing family bonding time or social engagements, you should put off your work notifications. So ideally, you shouldn't be seeing work messages when you are bonding with family. You shouldn't be seeing family messages. Obviously, again, the context of the communication charter, if family needs to reach out to you and it's urgent, they know the platform to use to reach out to you. Without these structures, what happens is that we don't give our best values to the different interactions that we find ourselves in.
I totally agree with everything you've said there and everything. At the end of the day, there has to be some sort of knowledge from the real life. Like we always say, IRL, in real life, there has to be some sort of knowledge that will help us stay or guide us through this whole digital space and
Yeah.
using our technology.
Yeah,
So,
I know it's
I,
in the same way you talk about like taking permission. This is something that we don't do in Nigeria and in Africa extensively, but we're catching up with the global world. You don't just post somebody without their permission. One thing that I've noticed a lot of times is,
yes.
have you noticed that when people want to post pictures, maybe like you're hanging out with your friends and then you guys took a picture together, about three of you, when you want to post that picture, you're only checking to ensure that you are looking good. You are not checking to
Yes.
see whether your friends are looking okay. So
Others
whether
are
their hair
looking
is
good.
on point or there's
Yes,
something that is not looking too well
it's
about them.
true.
Nobody is
It's,
just looking as long as me, I'm
it's
looking
true.
on point. You post that
It's
picture
true.
at the expense of your friends not looking good. But it shouldn't be that
Exactly.
way. I can hang out with a couple of people and not watch my posts out there because our digital footprints are every information that can be found online about us, both the ones that we put
Yeah.
out there and the ones that other people put out there. But we're a generation of people that are no longer empathetic. Like I saw a video very recently of someone, I think a bus driver in Lagos that had to break. Maybe somebody served him breakfast or something like that, and he was like almost weeping in the bus, like he was a driver, and somebody was recording him and posted online to gain
That is
engagement.
engagement. That is what I was saying initially. What is the motive why we always come online? And I don't know. Why do people come online? I tell people that, did we all notice how every one of us were happy online? The one funny place is Instagram. It's rare for you to you see picture perfect families, couples, lives, and you wonder, is this life? And that's why I keep saying social media is a controlled environment.
Yeah,
People give you what they want you to believe. Seriously.
yeah,
I don't want to mention names, but let me let me let me see how I can put it. When young people go online, they see this particular influencer who keeps showing them Gucci, Balenciaga, and everything. And they come on those pages and they see 7 million followers. This person every day keeps showing up their lifestyle and everything. What people don't understand is that person is actually taking his or her time to understudy you, the viewers, and give you people what you want.
yeah,
The person is actually taking their time to. It's not the person putting up what they want. You are the ones. We viewing them are the ones giving them. Oh, this person loves watching my luxurious life. He goes, puts a full what's it called, a buffet table, only him sitting there with various food and everything. You are the one shaping that person's life while the person is making money. That is what people don't understand. And at the end of the day, you are also causing yourself harm, because therein comes in unhealthy comparison. That is when you want to look as thin as they are, as fat as they are. Unhealthy comparison, and depression sets in.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anxiety
So
sets in. a lot of other negative vices of technology, the negative impact of technology sets in. So it's important we also, just like what you were also saying, it's important we know and we ask, do you really want to, do I really want to be in this post? Do I really want my image to be on this post? What are the reasons why you want to post this? And let us also be clear, let us tell our people, when I meet you in a conference or meet you anywhere and we snap pictures, silence is not consent. Make sure I do it. Make sure I ask, I'm going to put this thing up or your faces will come out. So do you want or do you not want? I say it jokingly.
Yeah.
And people will say, they want. If I see anybody who is not giving me a body language, maybe yes or no, I will go and meet the person and ask, I am posting this online. You understand? Because I don't know, maybe your nature, you might look very thin and frail, you don't want to be online, and I go and post it. And at the end of the day, you see it and you're not happy about yourself. So
Yeah.
all these little things are things we really need to learn to be able to, like, okay, have healthy relationships with our technology or with our devices. It's
Yeah.
important we understand and we learn it.
Yeah. It's all about having structures. It's all about
Yes.
being intentional with why you're online, the kinds of things that you want to do
Yes. Yes.
online, and all. I think it's super important. The next question that I want to ask you is, can you give an example of how technology has changed behavior or attitudes of people, either your behavior, your attitude, or that of other people, how technology has influenced that?
Let me use myself. It has changed me in so many ways. Now, um, one of the ways technology, using tech or technology has helped me is I used to struggle with sleep. I used to struggle with sleep to sleep. And I'll be honest with you, Tosin, back then, I can be on my device from morning till night, non-stop. And when I mean night, 4 a.m. I finished work, then
Yeah,
personal thing. One of the ways technology helped me is through wearables. I
yeah,
had to buy all those smartwatches to actually make myself sleep, time myself. I was calculating my sleep time and I saw that my sleep time was deficient.
yeah,
It was affecting me. So that is one of the things I use. Then there is something I would encourage everybody, those who are buying modern gadgets and everything. Make sure that whatever gadget you are buying, on it is the digital well-being app. It is very, very important. The digital well-being app. So there are some funny behaviors we have. Like my own digital well-being app, I set up the work tracker. The work
yeah,
tracker helps me that when I'm working, I'm not on my phone. That's when I'm moving, I'm not on my phone. I also set up the driving monitor tracker. You know that we Nigerians, our way, our way is somehow. You see people driving and we're all on
yeah,
phone. It's also on. I put it on. Then the one for the children, the parental control. So for me, those are the ways I'm making sure that I'm using technology to change some habits and behavior that are not good for me. I sleep now. I have, in fact, when I'm sleeping, my phone is not in the bedroom.
yeah,
My phone is in the sitting room. My phone is in the sitting room. When I wake up back then, first thing I go to, as if I have been drugged, is my phone. I don't do
yeah,
that anymore. So there are a lot of things one has to do to help you. You have to use technology in a way that helps your health,
yeah,
helps you to be a better person. And for me, this is what I do. I use technology. I sleep. I have conquered the sleep. I sleep well. So all thanks to the wearables. Then on my phone, my digital well-being app. In fact,
yeah,
by 9 o'clock today, I'm going to receive a message from the app telling me the number of hours I've spent today on this device.
yeah,
Some days it's like 6 hours. Some days it goes up. But every day I get better and better. Till
yeah,
maybe someday I can do like 12 months without my device, which I doubt
yeah,
it is possible. So these are some ways technology can be of help. And for me, these are some habits, bad habits and attitudes that technology has helped me to overcome.
yeah. That
So
That's really wonderful, and I think it takes us back to the original conversation that we were having about how technology in itself is not the problem. Our usage of it is
Yes, our
what can be a
usage. Yes.
problem, because it's the same
Yes.
technology that was affecting sleep that is promoting sleep right now. They
Yes.
don't need to tell you
Now,
that
yes.
how we're using it. It's the same way someone goes on social media and feels anxious and feels depressed because,
Yes.
like, for example, one of the things you said, social comparison and all of that, and then somebody else goes
Mhm.
on social media and it feels pumped up, like it feels more refreshed, it feels more
Exactly.
energized because of how
Exactly.
it's using technology.
They
So
are
yeah,
using it.
I want to restate this, that technology in itself is not the problem. Our usage of it
It
is
is
what can be a
it is
problem. And then
problem.
another perspective of even technology is that because technology doesn't create itself, we are the creators of technology. And
Yes.
so it goes back to the original conversation that you also mentioned. If we are ethical people, we will create ethical products. If we are
Yeah.
unethical
Yeah.
people, we create unethical
Exactly.
products. So in our
Exactly.
creation, usage of technology, it in itself is
Mm.
not the problem. We, the creator and the users,
Exactly.
what can make technology a problem or not a problem. So that's an
Exactly.
amazing thing. And it's good
Exactly.
to see. Because I think for me, when I tell people to use wearables, for instance, the shock for them is the idea that you see that you slept for 7 hours, but deep sleep was only 30 minutes. And I'm
Oh,
wondering, like,
yes,
what's
yes,
happening?
yes, yes, yes. That even helps you to know exactly, okay, there is something
Yeah,
not adding
yeah,
up here. You sleep
yeah,
and the deep sleep. So with that data, you're able to, like, okay, calculate, okay, this the first time I used it and I saw, okay, deep sleep and you sleep, I was like, what is happening? But over time I got to understand what that data meant to me,
yeah,
to my heart, to my health, to my blood pressure and everything. And I restructured myself on what I am doing with my sleep. I sleep. I sleep.
yeah,
If I'm not at work, I come back. I sleep. And that's it takes us back to what we were saying about being available. When I'm sleeping, you might have called me or sent me a message, and the next time I see you physically, I say, I sent you a message, you didn't respond, but I saw that you had a blue tick. And I'm like, you had a blue tick. That my data might be on and I am asleep. You get, and all this digital availability is wrong. You
yeah,
expect that you send me a message and I answer now? No, my people,
yeah,
no, it doesn't work that way. You are going to make that. We are not machines, man.
yeah,
We're not machines.
yeah.
So it's technology is good. It's good. It's good. There's nothing wrong with technology. It is how we use it. That's what makes it not good.
Yeah.
But it is good. It's doing a lot for us.
Yeah, and that's the idea with the no gadget hangout, because what you will
Yes.
notice with like the digital wellbeing feature or screen time for iOS users is that it helps you observe in the same way that like by 9 o'clock it will,
Mm-hmm.
like for you now it will tell you how many hours you spent today, because a lot of times we
Yes. Yes.
assume oh, we're not really spending too much time online, or we assume that oh, we're sleeping well because you slept and you woke up, or it tells you that
Yes.
this was deep sleep, and it's deep sleep that you actually need. So what we do at the no gadget hangout is we take a break and have some of these conversations to be able to realize, are we aligning with who we are and want to be,
Yes.
or are we beginning to drift away from who we are and want to be? The next question that I have for you is, how can using technology intentionally help with mental well-being?
Okay. Let me put it this way. When you're organized and structured, when you're organized and structured, there won't be need for anxiety. When you wake up every day and there is a list of things you want to do, you write them down. Oh, today I'm going to pick up my friend at the airport. When I pick up by 8 o'clock, I'm going to pick up my friend at the airport. I'll drop my friend at home. By 10 o'clock, I'll be at work. In 2 hours, I'll be back home. By two, I would cook. By seven, I will read a book. By nine, I'll check my mail. Maybe by 9:30, I have slept. If physically our days are organized like that, that is intentional living. If I'm not mistaken, that is intentional living.
Yeah,
We can
yeah,
also have that kind of living with our online world, our activities online. Write down our intention on how and why we want to be online. There are people, I've seen someone just in life who I spend 1 full hour with. I spend that 1 hour on a job. we have a job, a work partnership kind of. And while on that 1 hour working with me, half of those number of hours is viewing every popular influencer online. Viewing. If the work time scope is 1 hour, just with that 1 hour, he's viewing all the whole influencers, laughing, being excited, even gisting me about it. And in my head, I'm like, for a full 1 hour, you'll be looking at these people while they are doing this and making money. And I am wondering, what are you doing for that day that is improving your life? So why are you online? To view people's life. So to help your mental health, you also have to be intentional with your use of tech.
Yeah.
You have to be intentional. Write down why. Like today now, I have written way back in the schedule, today by so time, Tosi and I will be somewhere. When I drop this thing now, I am not coming online. Maybe it's going to be like 8 o'clock before I come online. I'm not coming online. We'll go and do other things.
Yeah.
So we need to start learning how to write down the reasons we are coming online, why we are going to be online, how are we going to be online. How is what you and I are doing today? We are here to talk about something. What is your how? What is your how?
Yeah.
Have you asked yourself, why am I online and how am I going to be online? Am I going to be online to go around looking at all the whole trolling and dragging and all the whole people making skits and comments? Is that what you are going to do? You check all these things at the end of the day. There's something that hits you. Oh, this person is making money. My life is not as good as this person. Oh, this person is wearing a design and when will I buy? All these things causes us anxiety. It causes us, it drives us into the rabbit hole of depression because we are not intentional. Imagine people who go and sit down with influencers, watch them from morning to night, watch when they eat, how they eat, what they do with their family and everything. When you close your eyes out of that space, all you will ever dream of is how you will be like them. And when you can't live their life, when you can't live their life, you go into physically start struggling to maintain their lifestyle and you go into doing negative and naughty things. And that's why you see some people, they will say they are trying to be slim or they are trying to enhance a part of their body part because you have focused your soul on a particular person, their shape, their look, their house, their everything. Write how and why you want to be online. Intentionality, it is key.
Yeah.
It is important.
Yeah.
Then also consume content with intention. When you go online, you see content. Can you ask, why is this person putting this up? Some people, even some respected people, the kind of post they put, I ask, I say, well, you can't change everybody. Over time, they'll get to know, why would you put up some certain things? Like for me, I sell my brand every day. That is why. I need to sell my brand.
Yeah.
I need to tell the story of my brand. That is my why. That is why I put up anything concerning my brand, because while I do it, I get to meet different people like you who are interested and we come together, collaborate, connect, and empower people. So that is my why. Always ask yourself why. If you have no why, if you have no how, and when, and you don't write things down, you will go all about people's social lives, and at the end of the day, you will affect yourself, your mental health, and you will get into trouble. There are some platforms where I can never be on, not because they are bad, but because anytime I open them, they show me what I cannot be or what I have not been, and I don't want to be depressed, so I don't go there. I don't go there. Most of people, are you on social platform? No, because it affects me when I see people's feeds showing me pictures of yeah, I might like them, but I don't have them now. And I'll sit down and start brooding over it. So all those things, it's important we are intentional. It's important to consume content with intention. To ask ourselves why you want to be online, write down your intention, and embrace self-care. Take time out to leave your screen. Take time out to go out of that online space. It's very healing. It's healing. Oh, if you can spend an hour or two out of your digital space, you come back refreshed.
Yeah.
I know FOMO comes up, but trust me, you come back refreshed. You come back, everything will come back new, as if you've never been there. Then you start all over again.
Yeah.
So that's how we can help our mental health. Always be intentional about why you want to be online, how you want to be online. Take time off online and ask why you want to create whatever content, why you want to be online. The
Yeah.
content you consume should be intentional. What are you taking in and what are you giving out?
Yeah.
What are you taking in and what are you giving out? If we can structure all those things, just like we structure our day, our mental health will be fine.
Yeah. So true. And everything that you've shared actually is the principle from which the No Gadget Hangout was formed. Because for us, there are three key pillars that I teach that started the No Gadget Hangout. The first is
Yeah.
the law of attention and attention management. The second,
Yeah.
law of scheduling. And then the third is the law of traction over distraction. Intention and
Mhm.
attention management essentially talks about our why and what that we do. So that's your intention. This is what I want.
Yeah.
This is why I want to do it. And then attention is your how, observing if you're achieving that your intention.
Yeah.
So for instance, my intention is to grow educationally via
Mhm.
social media. One of the
Mhm.
principles that you will then learn is feed management, which comes to what you were talking about, curating your page in such a way that it aligns with who you are and what to be. So the
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of following, the kinds of content that you are sharing, the kind of
Exactly.
content you're posting, it has to align with your why and your what, so that every time you come back and evaluate, you know how in projects we do monitoring and evaluation, we should be able to do this
Yeah.
in our life. There's a course that I teach that is called digital auditing. We should be able to audit our personal, professional, and social lives.
Exactly.
Back
Exactly.
to your Instagram account or whatever platform that you're on, are you still consistent with who you said you want to be? For you, for
Yeah.
instance, you are your brand and promoting your brand. By the time you
Yeah.
review your content engagement, does it align with pushing my brand? Because what that then tells you is that, oh, I need to do more, oh, I need to adjust in this way and the other. But
Exactly.
because we're evaluating, we're not even sure why we're online. And so everything just goes.
Exactly.
And the first principle is the law of intention and attention management that talks about our why, what, and how. The second principle is the law of scheduling, which is time boxing each of our activities, which speaks to like the example that you were giving about, okay, so you know you're waking up, you're cooking at this time, you need to do A, B, and C at this time, you need to do work at this time, you need to do these activities at this time. It's basically time boxing. The way you will see your calendar, it has that
Mhm.
24 hours and it has time
Mhm.
to it. The principle of time boxing
Mhm.
is putting a name to each of those boxes. And obviously,
Exactly.
flexible, because there are certain things that might come up that you were not prepared for during the day, and you can easily
Exactly.
adjust and fine tune for if family calls you for something that they need help with and it's something that you can do. You can't say, oh, because I didn't schedule for you, please call me in 3 days time, I will think
Yeah.
about it. No,
Mhm.
just for that. So even though we're talking about time boxing, it's very flexible. The idea is just once you know what you should be doing, you know what you shouldn't be doing. And the beauty of
So
knowing what you should be doing is that you know how long you should be doing it
how
for. So
long you should be doing
you're
it
going on
for?
Instagram, for instance, yeah, you know why you are going there. So you know it will only take you 10 minutes, it will only take you 5 minutes, it
Exactly.
will only take you 10 minutes. But the problem is because we are not consciously intentional about why we are there. And
Mhm.
then 3 hours have passed. You have not even done the thing that took you
Done
there.
it. Exactly.
For
Exactly.
something, you went there to reply a
Exactly.
message, to post. You just go there and you see the first feed, you like it, you comment. Before you know it, time has passed and you have not done that
Yeah.
thing because you are consciously intentional about why you are there. So that's why the law of scheduling is important. And then finally, the law of traction over distraction. Traction talks about the things that you want to do. Traction talks about who you are and want to be. Distraction talks about the things that pull you away
Yeah.
from who you are and want to. That's where the law of intention and having your why, which you clearly and very well explained, is super important, because it's when you
Mm.
know your why, you can know if the things that you are doing align with who you are. Because once they do not
Exactly.
become a distraction, my intention is to sleep in the night. You talked about how your phone is in the parlor. The
Yeah.
recommendation is that 1 hour before your sleep time, you should stop using your devices. And then, if you've read the book Atomic Habit, for instance, it talks about how you need to remove access to the things that you don't want to be with. It reduces the
Exactly.
temptation to pick up your phone when it's on your bed, when you wake up in the night, in comparison with having to stand up
Yeah.
and go to
Go
pick
to
up the
the
phone.
sitting room. Yeah.
Exactly. But back
Yeah.
the original point. If your intention is to sleep, why are you in the room with your phone? Does your phone aid? I was talking in the other Instagram live that we had, for certain people, maybe they are not able to sleep, and so they need to listen to music, and so they need to be there with your phone. One of the things that you mentioned earlier on is the idea that we have to be disciplined. So the question is this: now you're in your room with your phone, you've played the music app, can you shut down every other application apart from the music app? But the problem is you've played the music. Let me just check something on WhatsApp. Before you know it, it's 3 o'clock, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. You're not sleeping. So super intentional. Exactly. You have to be super intentional. You have to know your why, and then be able to monitor if you are aligning with your why or if you are not aligning with your why. And then this takes me again to the previous conversation that we're having. There was something that you kept emphasizing about not being online for everybody. There's an article that I wrote a couple of years back. I think it was 2019 that I wrote it. It's titled "I Am Not Online," because I am super with my time. What that then means is that if, like, for instance, we are on Instagram now and we are having this live, and if somebody sees that I'm online, because it shows that I'm online, and they say, I do Instagram to talk with confidence. Like, I'm not online, I'm not replying that, but that is not what brought me to Instagram. They schedule time for, okay, let me check up on social media. When I'm checking up on social media and I'm not doing any work related thing, I will see your message and I will respond to you. But we're very emotional. So it's like I sent you that you have to drop everything that you're doing. Like, I don't care what you're doing. Do you understand? You can WhatsApp and perhaps you're trying to seal a business deal, and then somebody sees that you're online and they expect you to leave that engagement, or you're bonding with family and then they are bringing work-related activity in a knock hour. You understand? So that article essentially says I'm online, but I'm not online for you. So people have to begin above the guilt tripping people emotionally and all of that. We have to be super intentional, because if this is the reason why I'm online, then I have to stay the course. When I'm online, I am online for work. When I'm online for social stuff, I am online for social stuff. When I'm online for development, I am online for personal development, and I don't owe you any apology for making
You've made a strong point with that title of your article. I am online, but I am not online for you. It summarizes everything. People, we need to start learning some things. You see, this thing for me is a huge problem. There's another thing we also do. A lot of people do it is, it got to a point. I had to, especially WhatsApp. My WhatsApp. Do you know I don't see or know anybody who views my status. I intentionally put it off. I only know that you viewed my status when probably you chop it out and now send me a direct message. I'm like, oh, you did it, thank you, and we now get to talk and everything. This thing of every time people are checking, oh, who liked, who watched, who saw, and everything, that is another level of anxiety people are dragging into their life. Because those who check, who like, oh, this person has checked, oh, 50 people have checked my status or my post and everything. What you're gradually walking into that coffin of anxiety, because everything you'll be looking for anything you post is validation. And when your views are like 5 as against 15 people who used to view it or like it, you start panicking. So all these things are things, habits and attitude we need to like stop, so that our relationship with technology might suit us, not us suiting technology. With everybody, why is this generation? Why is there even our parents backwards who life was a bit hard or was hard for them? The level of depression, did they even face depression? I don't know. Maybe they faced it, they didn't know. But this generation, there is a lot of depression. People are anxious, suicidal, and everything. It is part of it is because of these technologies we are consuming without being mindful. I used to call myself, whenever I'm speaking, in fact, I hope to make a shirt around it. I used to call myself an MIT graduate. What does that MIT mean? Mindful Intentional Tech User. You can't just come and bamboozle me anyhow on technology or on my device. Answer me immediately. Oh, I checked you. I sent you a message. You didn't reply. No, these things are not right digital habits. These things, they make us anxious. They make us depressed. They make us compare unhealthily. Like you said, our device, technology is a tool that should assist us. It's not a tool that we should always bow. Come and charge me. I saw one cartoon that busted my head. The phone was telling the owner, come and charge me. The owner ran and charged. Come and view the notification. The owner ran and everything. Then they tweaked the cartoon again. It was now the opposite. I don't know. I couldn't understand. But what that caught me was how we have made these phones our masters. How we have made device and technology our masters instead of us being its master. We need to stop all these habits to optimize and use technology very well in a way that makes life and living very, very enjoyable. We need to.
The question for everybody that is watching and will watch and are listening right now is, are you in control of your technology use, or is your technology use in control of you? Again, the conversation we are having today is about being intentional with your technology use. It's about being intentional with your technology use. I've been in situations where before the message is even landing, I'm ready to respond because, again, I'm fully present in that engagement. The conversation we're having today is not about being petty or being arrogant. You have the time to respond to somebody and you're not responding to them. That's not the conversation we're having. The conversation we're having is that you are so structured that when it's time for A, you are focused on A. When it's time for B, you're focused on B. Ideally, if you are doing work-related matters, your other notifications that are not work-related should be put off. So you shouldn't even be seeing the notifications to begin with. What that then tells is that until you are done with your work and want to have time for your social or personal life, you won't see those messages. By the time that you are seeing those messages, you can get to responding to them. However, the challenge is because we are not so intentional. When we are doing work-related engagements, we leave our notifications for personal and social lives on. And so a personal message comes that you can deal with at a later time. It's not urgent, it's not life-threatening, and then you stop your productive work that you were doing to focus on that. And research has shown us that we don't actually multitask. What we do is task switch. So your brain is switching from this activity to that activity. And so you can't give the best value to either of the engagements that you are involved in. So again, our anchor in today's conversation is responsible tech use. I like the word that you use, mindful tech use, intentional tech use. The final question that I have for you today is, do you have any tips for being smart and safe online while keeping things positive?
Yeah, thanks, Tosin. So that space is more my core, and that's the space I call digital citizenship and everything. And what does that mean? It actually, if I'm talking to younger kids, actually means being informed, alert, balanced, inclusive, and engaged. So since this is more like conversation for older people, adults, young adults, and everything. So the tips I would want to give us for this is, first and foremost, this digital space has a lot of personalities, people, different people coming on this whole thing called technology and devices with different ideas, opinions, and plans, manners, nature, everything just jam. Before you do anything there, before you do anything, think. Think before you post. Think before you come online. Think before you engage. Think before you create. Just think. Just that time you want to quickly, there should be, from the time you took that decision to the time you launched out to take the action, that space is the thinking time. Think before you post online. Be aware of how to prevent online risk and harm. And this comes in the area of our devices. You can help yourself. See, half of the things on, even as I am now, there are things I still see on my phone of 5 years, and I'm like, wow, this thing was there. Some little kids around me, 5, 6 years, were the one that even made me detect it because they are everywhere. And I'm like, so this thing is here and all that. Check those your settings. Check your device. Take time out to understand. See, people say they are in a ship, they are in a ship, they are in a ship. Tech, we're in a relationship with tech. Sometimes try the tech, test the tech, check out the tech. The way you will check out your boyfriend or your husband or your spouse or your partner, or if they are doing something naughty that you won't be happy with, check out your tech. Settings, privacy settings, check all those things. There are some people, I would just go in a public space and they are talking. I do this so, and I don't know who is listening, but I'm saying this so that you be aware that while you're out there talking and you're a tech user, you have a device, you don't know who the next person beside you. They are talking, I'm looking at their faces. I'm not in their conversation. No. I've heard their name, I've heard one or two things, and something will just say, check the person out. And I will go into social media and think, where can this person be? Maybe Facebook, maybe Instagram. Tap the person's name, and I look at the picture, I look at the person, and I'm going through their lives. And what does that show me? No privacy setting. They go online, they don't lock the door. And taking it back to the house analogy, who stays in their house and doesn't lock the door, goes out and opens the door? What are you doing? You're inviting people into your house. Your privacy settings, set these things. 2MFA, multi-factor authentication, set it to protect yourself. It is important to protect yourself. Those are some of the tips. Take control of your devices. Take control of it. Set everything that needs to be set. Then there's something, when I'm teaching younger people, like there's something we always do. I make sure I do it. Then it's called the Google O'Clock time. I call it Google O'Clock, but over time I found out that it also has a name. It's Google Selfie. Take your phone, put your full name into your phone. Let's see what runs out about you. What are the details about you that is in the public space and everything? Because you never can tell. This is to make sure that you have a good digital footprint. Your digital reputation, your online reputation is positive. And when you see that, maybe you've seen your name tied to some things that are not who you really are, you start working to change your online presence to be more positive. So let's work on these basic things. It's very, very important. What did I say? Reflect before posting. Be aware of how to prevent online risk to yourself by changing your privacy, taking control of your privacy. Also, when we see content online, this thing is becoming too much. Don't believe everything you see. Be critical about it. Ask, where is it coming from? Why is this person posting it? What is the person's intention? Is it to cause chaos? Is it to make me feel bad? Is it to make me feel good? Be critical about the content you consume. Don't just see it. There are some messages you see it has been posted over 100 times. Check it. That is misinformation flying around. When people put up posts online, I keep saying our influencers, all these our celebrities, when they put up posts, ask yourself, why is this person putting this thing? Is it just to make people feel somehow? They might not they are not really who they are. So don't take in everything you see. These are some tips that can help you to maximize your use with technology and make it a little bit friendly, so that relationship will not be a toxic one. It won't be a parasitic one where one is just serving and hurting the other. There will be a balance. Let your technology, let your device serve you and not you serving your device. So I think those are the basic tips I would love to share, and I've shared with you.
That's so, and I really like your analogies, because it brings clarity to the perspective of this conversation. For me, it's like the way there are different grades of people in your life and different grades of access that these people have. Your husband, partner has access to every room in the house, every room. Your children have access to every room in the house, even though there might be a limit to the parents' room. It's not like they can't get to it, even though they still have access to it. Grades of access. If your phone comes, they have access to the parlor, they have access to the guest room, they have access depending on how close they are. There are friends that can enter your kitchen, open the fridge without even access. Friends that they don't, because of the level of access that they have. if we think about the first conversation that we had about technology being in another environment, like the different rooms in our house, then you have to ask people that I am sharing bedroom informations with. What level of friends that come to your house? For somebody to come to your house, there's a level of relationship that you have with them. But even certain level of relationship with them, there's still limits to the places that they can go in your house. The things, the digital space, there are so many people that you do not know. There are so many people engage with. Like you see people with 5,000 friends on Facebook, and this is a personal account. It's not even a business account. And even if it's a business account, how many of them you actually know? And then they are giving them access to your parlor, to your kitchen, to your bedroom, that the idea of taking that pause and reflecting before posting. It's so powerful. I don't know if you're hearing the conversation that I was hearing. We were talking. It's so powerful that and everything ties up to the context of intention. This information I'm about to put there about my significant other, for instance, this information about to put about a business deal that I'm about to do. I'm about to travel to Lagos. This ticket that I'm about to post on social media, which made a certain amount. This receipt that I'm about to post online. If you take that post and think, why am I posting it? Think at who I am and want to be. Don't take out time to post that. Those are security risks. Those are privacy. You are in the long run harming yourself that you are not conscious of. But a lot of times we've seen celebrity post receipts. We've seen them post their house.
Every corner, video it and everything.
Then you watch the younger generation. You see parents posting their children's identity, posting their school. They are posting the in his uniform with the badge of the school. Thinking there are people that don't mean well online. Just because doesn't mean that other people mean well. There are so many people online, and so you have to take out time to pause. This post that I'm about to post, everybody is creating content with their children. Me that want to do that, to what end? Those people know what end. At the end of the day, what end? Be using it as a platform to make money, and they've created template that ensures that their child is safe, and they're doing it in a way that is safe. Have you taken time to create that structure so that your child is safe? Because the truth is, go on. The truth is, the children are not safe. There is this thing is like a conversation within those of us working deeply with children. You've heard of this child sexual abuse material. But every time these kids are kept by their mothers, they are called kidfluencers. Mothers on this, some bad guys are somewhere picking up all these images. Nothing like safe, picking up all these images and sexualizing those images and selling those children's images outside. And so there is nothing like, most people doing this thing are not safety conscious. They don't even know how to set up their safety and their privacy settings. They don't know. Trust me, 80% of Nigerians, if you know 80 Nigerians now, okay, let me come down, 8 Nigerians that you know, just random Nigerians, or people you know, 8, try putting their name on Facebook, you will access everything about them. A lot of people don't set their privacy setting. They don't. I can tell you this for sure. I've seen where people are bragging. Some people are out there bragging, and you're in one corner listening to all the brag and on your phone, and quickly you're taking all the details and you're accessing them. You've seen where they are. You saw when they gave birth. You saw who their partners are and everything. 90% of Nigerians don't have their privacy settings on their device, on their social media, or even on their devices. They don't have it on. Yeah. So forget these parents, mom influencers, doing kidfluencers up and down. They know nothing about privacy. It's all about the profit they are making to their children. So, like you're saying, the key is people need to think before they do anything online, before they do anything with their devices. It's very important. It's very important. Yeah, and don't just give, now that we're talking a little bit about children, don't just give children access to devices and let them figure it out on their own. Don't just them devices and leave them to figuring it out on their own. It's in the same way that you won't give your child a car and tell him to just start driving it. Obviously, there's an age that a child will have access to technology. We probably will have another Instagram live where we are focused on children conversations, and we'll go deep into that. But the perspective from a safety conversation that we are having right now is that you have to think before every engagement that you are putting, and you have to think 2 times when it involves your children. One thing that I picked what you said also is that verify information, because content is monetized. Not everybody has values that align with you. A lot of people are related, so there's misinformation, there's disinformation, and then we're in an era where there's even deep fake, where somebody can clone me right now, pick our voice, and out content, and if you don't verify it, you think it's us because it will look exactly us.
Exactly like us.
That we verify information. Don't just reshare. People are whoever is in your circle, whoever is in your feed, you have been entrusted with the information that you are putting out for those people. And so before you reshare, you see, I see a lot of accounts that will say informations that I share are not my opinion. Then why are you sharing it? They are trying to save them. There's no backlash in case the information goes in the wrong way or the other. Before you retweet an information, verify it. I know your fingers are, you don't want to miss out on the information. Everybody is trending. And so you too, you want to conversation, take a pause. You want to trend, take a pause, verify that information before you share it. Thank you so much for the amazing perspective that you brought to this conversation. I'm sure listened and has joined to this conversation and will listen as we upload the conversation on our channels. We'll learn 1 or 2 things about being safe online. We'll learn 1 or 2 things about people and mindful use of technology. Thank you, everybody who stayed with us to this conversation. The essence of why we had this conversation is because we've created a template that is called the No Gadget Hangout, which is essentially a platform where we host this kind of conversations void of digital distractions, where we can go and refresh and then come back and use technology in a way that helps us and not harm us.